Hi everyone, it's Elizabeth. In today's video, I'm going to be doing my nails. Last Saturday, I went to this gala for the Health Foundation. It was a charity fundraiser for the local hospitals. And I probably could have gone with naked or bare nails, but I didn't want to. So for a bit of fun, I decided to do my nails and record it for you. You'll see me going through all of these different things, these little stickers. They're called jamberry wraps. They're really just nail stickers that you heat up and put on your nails. And I do like them in that they're pretty cute and they last for a couple weeks, but I don't like them in that whenever you go to remove them, just like most like manicures that you go and get done, when you go to remove them, it basically tears up the surface of your nail and really damages your nails. So I don't really recommend these unless you already have really terrible nails and need something to cover them up. But otherwise, I would say you're better off not using these. But since it was a special occasion, I decided to try them out again. But because they are so bad for my nails, I only put 2 on each hand. And so I did my pinky and ring finger on my left hand, and on my right hand I did my thumb and my pointer finger. So I was going through to try and pick out which ones I wanted. I was wearing a black dress, so I wanted something that would match. And you see I picked out 3 here that I've set over on the side. I only wound up using 2 because I didn't want it to be too busy. But I'm going to go ahead and get cracking into putting these on my nails. And I really don't intend to spend the rest of this video talking about what I did for my nails. So what I really wanted was just for this to kind of play in the background while I talked about some different stuff and gave you a little update on what was going on with this YouTube channel in the coming weeks. So the first thing I wanted to talk about was just maybe an aspect of my personality which kind of is bothersome sometimes. Maybe not bothersome to me, but bothersome to other people. I have a tendency to ask people sort of personal questions, and I don't think it's coming from a place of me being prying or nosy, but I just feel like I have this genuine interest in people, and I don't just want to talk about surface level stuff with people. I want to talk about their past, like their lives. How did they handle certain difficult situations or difficult choices, and where do they see themselves in several years, and that kind of stuff. But I think it does kind of come across as insensitive sometimes. And one of the things that I think probably irritates people the most is asking about like their family and family planning and stuff like that. And I know that ladies can be so sensitive about this, and I understand it too, coming from the perspective of somebody who now wants to have children and is not having success yet, how that can be kind of a sensitive topic to discuss. But I think it's because I'm in that place in life. I want to know how women who've already been through this time of their life or in it as well, how they're dealing and what their advice might be, or just to learn their story surrounding it, because it's something that's occupying my mind right now. And it's been on my mind for about a year now, I would say, because the decision to go ahead and move in this direction has been probably going on for about a year in my own life. And so on the one hand, I definitely understand feeling sensitive about it. But on the other hand, I really don't feel like it's that personal of a question, because your family is a very outward expression. Like, it's a very outward thing. Like, people know who my parents are, that I have a brother, that I'm married, that I have a dog. I think it's natural then for people to ask me, do you have kids? And right now, obviously, my answer is no. And I think the follow-up question that may be asked after that, it can be insensitive depending on how you ask. And I think maybe I haven't been as tactful in the past as I should be. But to ask once somebody says that they don't have children, whether or not they want children, that question kind of bothers people sometimes. And still, I think that it's a valid question. Not in a judgy way, though. You have to come at it with an open mind to whatever the answer may be. Because some people don't want to have kids, and you shouldn't dare ask and pry at that point. Well, why don't you like kids, that kind of stuff. But some people may say, yes, I want kids, I just don't have any. But you don't ask any questions about the time frame and stuff like that. But some people, when you ask that question, do you want to have kids? I think the question hurts their feelings because they've had trouble having kids biologically. But I don't think you should assume that the person asking the question means biological children. Do you want biological children? Because the question could mean, do you see yourself adding members to your family either through biological means or adoption or fostering? And all of those are valid ways to expand your family and are equally as important as each other, and no one way of expanding your family is better than the other. So I think folks who get sensitive when asked about whether or not they want children should try to take a step back and realize that the person asking the question is not asking questions about their fertility. They're asking questions about their family, which is not as personal as it may seem. And I'm not just saying this to try and make excuses for myself. I'm saying this as a reminder to myself that when people ask about whether or not I want to have kids, it's because people are taking a genuine interest in me. And I'm at a point in my life where I'm married without children, so it's a natural question. It's a natural curiosity. Even questions about how many kids you want, as long as they're asked with a genuine open-mindedness and just curiosity about you as a person, I don't think are meant to be prying or nosy or offensive. They're just genuine curiosity. I mean, I remember when I was a kid in high school, that's something we would talk to each other about, is if we wanted to have kids someday, and if so, how many. And it was just an abstract way to talk about the future. I mean, in part, we played MASH, that game where, you pick what kind of house you'll live in, who you'll marry, and how many kids you'll have. So the number of children that people have is a personal choice, sure, and no one else should really be weighing in on that number aside from just the couple themselves. But to ask somebody how many kids they think they might want to have, I don't think is that personal of a question. Plus, I think that when you get to know a person a little bit better and you're friends with them, those kinds of questions are very natural to ask, and you shouldn't be upset if your friend is asking you those kinds of things, especially because that person cares about you and they want to know how you're doing in that regard. So all this to say, you should be sensitive when you're asking people questions to how they might be feeling emotionally about, their journey to have kids or their journey to decide not to have kids or whatever the case may be. And you shouldn't ask these questions from a place of trying to pry or inject your own opinion to give advice or whatever the case may be. But at the same time, I think if you're being asked these questions, I'm being asked these questions, try not to get too bogged down in your feelings about whether or not you're having success with conceiving children naturally or whatever, if that's where you are, or try not to get bogged down in your feelings if you've decided you don't want to have kids, or try not to get bogged down in your feelings no matter what your situation is, because the person asking the question obviously has no way of knowing that, and the person asking the question probably doesn't mean it in the way that you're taking it. And the person asking the question is not supposing that one way of adding to your family is better than the other. And the person asking the question may not even be supposing that having children is what's best for you. They're just asking out of a normal curiosity. Who the members of your family are is a pretty base level question. And what type of family you have is a pretty basic question. Do you come from a big family? Do you come from a small family? Are you married? How long have you been married? All of these are normal questions that people ask you even if they don't know you super well. So I guess for me, again, it's not me trying to justify it, because sometimes I get sensitive when people ask me about these kinds of things too. But from having asked those types of questions in the past, being asked those types of questions myself in the present, I just want to give everybody the benefit of the doubt is what I'm trying to get at. So that's all I'm going to say about that particular topic, asking personal questions, particularly about family. If somebody's asking you personal questions, whether or not it's related to your family, try not to take it as this person being nosy or prying, but try to take it as a compliment that this person's genuinely interested in you and your life, and you can decide for yourself how much information you want to give this person, how much of your life you're willing and able to share. And if they can't respect that, then at that point you can, tell them off or do what you want. But if they remain respectful, just try and keep an open mind yourself. And that's, like I said, that's all I'm going to say. As far as the nails go, you can see that I have used the heat to heat up the little stickers. I've stuck them down on my nails, filed off the excess, and now I'm painting my nails this kind of babyish, opalescent, iridescent, pinkish color. In certain lights, it kind of takes on a bluish cast, but it's a baby pale, translucent pink, and I think it looks really cute and pretty. At the end, I don't know if it was the best choice for matching the pink flowers and the nail wraps that are on my ring finger and my thumb, but they look good enough anyway. And at this point, it's over a week later, and all of my nails still look pretty good. The baby pink color is good because if it starts to fade or chip, you really can't tell right away. I think that I have some that's chipped off, but it's hard for me to tell. And the little nail wraps from Jamberry, of course, are holding on, and they will hold on tight until they're forcibly ripped off of my nail and tear up the surface of it again. I'm going to try my best. I do every time try my best to peel them up gently and not rip up my nail, and follow all the instructions that the Jamberry technician people, or whoever, whatever you want to call them, I follow all the directions that they give. Heating it up, soaking it in acetone, peeling it in the correct direction, all that kind of stuff. But I have never once taken these things off of my nails without the surface of my nails being ruined. This time I didn't buff my nails as much as I typically would. And they also advise you to wipe your nail down with alcohol wipes before you put the nail wraps on. I didn't do that either. Those two things would help your nail wraps last even longer. But buffing your nails is just one way of ruining the surface of your nails before you even put the wrap on. And wiping it down with an alcohol wipe dries your nails out and makes them brittle. So I did not do either of those things because I wanted to hedge my bets and give myself the best chance of not ruining my nails as possible, though I'm skeptical as to how well that will go when the time comes for me to take them off. But with that, I think I'll wrap up this video. I will say I've got an idea for my next series, and I'm going to do a series of my favorite ships from TV shows and movies to celebrate Valentine's Day in February. So look forward to that. Bye-bye.